Okay guys, so I have shared this many times on Huddle. Some of you have copies of it. I went over a little bit of a presentation last season. So going over nutrition here. So right now most of us probably aren't working out like we would like to. So we're going to kind of base this off of a maintenance kind of period here. So I'm going to set this up. I'm going to give you all the percentages again. I'll send this form back out through Huddle, but I'm going to base this off of a 185 pound player. Okay, so right now we're going to take our calories. I want us to be around 15 calories a pound. Okay, so if we do the math on this, so 15 calories a pound. All right, that gives us 27.75. Okay, so this should be the calories that you consume daily. All right, our protein, again, this is 4 calories per gram. Okay, carbs, same thing, 4 calories per gram. Fats are the only one that's different. It's 9 calories per gram. Okay, so we're going to figure out our protein first. Pretty simple. I want a gram per pound. Okay, so for 185 pounds times 4. Okay, because we're going to take 1 gram per pound. So take this times 4. Gives us 740 calories. Okay, fats, this is going to be about 20%. Okay, so we're doing a little bit of math here. We're training your brain here. So we're going to take our total calories. We're going to take 2,000, excuse me, 775. We're going to take this times 0.2. That gives us 500. Okay, 55 calories of fat. Now if I take this and I divide this by 9, which is our calories here, that gives me 61 grams. Okay, so when you guys are looking or you're plugging your food into an app, you want to get around 61 grams. Okay, so we have our proteins here, 740 calories. That's 185 grams. We have 61 grams of fat. So the rest is going to fall on our carbs here. So I'm going to take 555. I'm going to add that to 740. That gives me 1,290 calories for my carbs. Again, if I divide this by 4, that's right around 320 grams. Okay? 323 is my grams here. Okay? Now, what this kind of looks like is I want this divided up. This is your daily calories. I ideally want this divided up into 3 to 4 meals. Okay? The main thing to this, guys, is to stay consistent with this. Okay? So what I've told some of you before, if you're using a food app, you know, I know iPhones have their own kind of nutrition thing. I always use MyFitnessPal. If I plug this in, my goal is to stay at 2,700 calories, okay? I put this in here. I want to stay consistent to this number for at least a week minimum. So that means as you're plugging your stuff in, as you're plugging your food in, this is your goal, okay? Then as you meet this goal, then you can kind of start looking and seeing where everything's falling into. If I'm getting 500 grams of carbs, okay, that's a problem. All right, maybe I need to substitute that for a little bit more protein, okay? So make sure once we've hit this number, we want to start looking at how those are falling into each category. Now, if you're one of those athletes that wants to gain weight and we're staying consistent to this number and the scale staying the same, okay, after a week, then bump this number up. Not dramatically, but maybe 3,200. After a week, if that's not moving, bump it up again, okay? Vice versa, if I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight and we're staying here and I'm gaining weight, then maybe bump this down to 2,500, okay? Or better yet, maybe start doing a little bit more cardio, walking, stuff like that. For you guys growing up and stuff like this, I want this to be as consistent as possible. I don't want you really trying to crash diet or anything like this. Most of you are going to be on the higher end of that scale, trying to gain some weight. So make sure that we are meeting this number, okay? I'll go into more depth as far as how to break these down, what I kind of do food prep wise on a daily basis. So there's your calorie number, and we'll go on how to break this stuff down. Okay guys, so I'll go over a little bit more in depth as far as how I package all this stuff. So I've told most of you, if you haven't already, invest in a food scale. I've had this one for probably 6 years. I think it was $8 or $9. Pretty simple stuff. Once it zeroes out, you put your food on it. Again, I'll show you this as far as once I've cooked my food and how that goes. So guys, I have some cheap beef here. I buy stuff in bulk. This is bottom round, or I bought like a giant roast. I sliced it up. So there's about 4 pounds of beef here. This is just chicken thighs, boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I like chicken thighs over chicken breast just because there's a little bit more fat, tastes better. That's what Chipotle uses, FYI. So this has been marinating for a couple hours, just some seasonings and stuff in there. This is probably about 5 pounds worth of chicken. And in here, again, this is my rice maker. Again, nothing fancy here. This is probably 15 bucks. I've had it about the same amount of time here. So I've got 8 scoops or 8 cups of rice in here. I don't know if I can see it. So on that side there, you put 8 scoops in here. You fill it up to that, where that says 8. Fill it up with water. I push this button down and it cooks it. It like I said, it shuts off when it's done, and I have several cups of rice to go. Guys, if you don't have rice, that's fine. I know it's a little bit hard to find here. This is another good option. Just some stir-fry noodles. These are kind of rice-based. Same thing, guys. It's carbs. That's what you need. So, like I said, this is pretty simple to cook too. You boil some water, throw it in, take the pot off of the stove, and in 8 or 9 minutes, the rice absorbs all that water, and again, you have a good carb there. Going down the line here, same thing. If you don't have rice noodles, some kind of pasta, guys, it's carbs. Put a little bit of sauce with it. It's perfect. Here, lentils. This is another good option. It's just carbs, guys. This has got a little bit more probably protein to it. I'm not as familiar with it, but it is another option. Plan J is Bush's baked beans. Okay, again, several carbs here. You throw it in with some chicken. You're set, ready to go. Again, I'm gonna go grill this. I'll show you how I package this up when I'm done. Okay, guys. So here we're grilling. Got it going. FYI, when you're cooking beef, it's probably gonna be about 4 minutes per side. You just want to get a good char. If you're cooking chicken, again over hot coals, I'm gonna go about 7 minutes per side, and then I'm gonna shut the grill down and just kind of let it, like the warmth, go ahead and cook it all the way through. Okay, so guys, the food is all cooked now. So I'm gonna tell you kind of how I package this stuff up. So rice is done. We have all this. When you're using your scale, okay, so whenever you put your bowl on here, you're gonna have to zero this back out so you know how much you have of it. Okay, so I've been doing this long enough. I know I want 10 ounces of rice. So I have 10 ounces of rice. Once I have that, I'm going to zero this back out. And I'm going to go ahead and use beef here. So when I'm using beef, I want right around 8 ounces of beef. If I'm using chicken, I'm gonna use around 10 ounces. It really doesn't matter. It just kind of depends on your fat content. So I have 8 ounces here. So this is all set. So that's a lunch or that's a dinner. All I want to add to this now is maybe 2 or 3 ounces of carrots or broccoli or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to package probably 2 or 3 days worth of food and we're all set. Make sure you guys go through, understand like your calorie count, that you divide your calories into 4 meals. Obviously breakfast is going to look a little bit different. You'll have probably eggs, toast, something like that. But your lunch, your dinners, snacks, things you'll have probably, it's going to be beef, chicken, rice, potatoes, whatever it is. Just make sure it's all about the same. That's going to help you be consistent with it and then help you make those small adjustments as you go.